Good evening. I'm deeply honored by the award that you've chosen to confer upon me this evening, and I'm very regretful that I'm not able to be with you personally to accept it. At the same time, I'm humbled to find myself in the company of so many people that I admire so much as your previous honorees. Unlike most of them, I never knew Paul Ramsey personally. Rather, I first encountered his vision and his work at a series of seminars known as the Ramsey Colloquia, presided over by the late Richard John Newhouse, and where Gilbert Meilander and Leon Cass and others were among the most brilliant participants. As a result of those colloquia, I'm keenly aware that in honoring me tonight, you are also celebrating the way that Paul Ramsey's work has lived on through the many men and women whose lives he has influenced and touched. My path crossed again with Leon Cass and Gil Meilander when we served together on the President's Bioethics Council under Cass's chairmanship. What a privilege it was to be a part of that great work with people like Bill Hurlbut, Robbie George, Charles Krauthammer, and so many others. My horizons were expanded in ways that I could never have imagined. My own introduction to the world of bioethics began many years earlier when the decision in Roe versus Wade set off alarm bells. And I remember that many people back then scoffed when some of us expressed the worry that disregard for the lives of the unborn would lead eventually to treating the frail, disabled newborns and the elderly as disposable too. They said that would never happen, but today, as we all know, such things are no longer a remote possibility. With health care and social welfare systems under increasing strain, the pressure is building to turn a blind eye to many forms of euthanasia. Meanwhile, advances in bioethics are proceeding with such speed that they have outpaced reflection on their moral implications. Experiments that involve the destruction of human embryos inevitably take us further along the path of treating some human lives as less worthy than others. They do so by fostering a mentality that treats the weak as means to the ends of the strong. And as Paul Ramsey understood so well, the way a society handles such challenges has a transformative effect on the moral texture of our culture. Each time we make policy in those areas, we are either helping to build a civilization that promotes human flourishing, or we're making the world more dangerous, especially for the weakest and most vulnerable. If what Leon Cass has called the party of dignity is to make headway in this situation, we have to proceed along three fronts: legal, political, and cultural. And even though I'm a lawyer, I know very well that the most important of these is cultural. Neither legal nor political advances can be sustained without winning the hearts and minds of our fellow citizens. And make no mistake, that's becoming more difficult, because when protections for life and dignity start to disappear one by one, even very decent men and women get used to their absence. Minds close and hearts harden. That's why, more than ever now, we need prophetic truth tellers like Paul Ramsey. And that's why the work of your Center for Bioethics and Culture is so important. You are making the case for responsible science. You are using all the resources of modern media, and you're making that case as it must be made in our pluralistic society, with reasons that are intelligible to all men and women of goodwill, to people of all faiths, and to people of no faith. Sometimes it can seem as though we are not making much progress or even falling behind, but we all know that we're in it for the long run, and we can all hope that by playing our part, with Ramsey, with his students, with the lives that he and they have touched, we know that we're helping to keep alive the flame of truth about the human person. No one, of course, knows that better than those of you who are here this evening to support the work of the Center for Bioethics and Culture, and for allowing me to have a part in tonight's celebration, and for the great work that you are doing. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.